What's happening, my friends? My name is Nathan, and welcome to Motorcycle Training Concepts. So yesterday we talked about a couple more common hazards that I hadn't talked about previously, but today we're going to be talking about some more uncommon ones that can catch you off guard if you're not prepared for them. The first one is open car doors. So if you're in an area where there's a lot of cars parked on the sidewalk, maybe there's a parking lot, or you're in a neighborhood or downtown, but a lot of times you're gonna have cars on the shoulder that, since you're on a motorcycle, you can ride on lane position 1, 2, or 3. And if you're riding on the right side in America, for example, and there's a car on the shoulder, they open that car door, what you're getting is a sharp metal object flying in your direction, which is the side of their car door. Now, that can cause a lot of damage to you and your bike. If it hits your brake lever, it'll cause your front tire to lock up and you'll dump your bike. If it hits your knuckles, you can break your hand easily. If it hits your knee, you can break your knee or slice it open, or both. But more often than not, if you hit an open car door, you're going to crash. And that's probably a more painful pain than typical road rash, because the side of a car door is usually pretty thin, but it's acting both as a sharp object at speed and a blunt force object to break everything that it hits. Being aware that cars on the side of the road, especially if the running lights are on, you should just steer clear of those, ride as far away from those as you can, and just imagine if the car door was open, how far you would need to be, and then don't get closer than that if you can help it. Number 2 is going to be inexperienced riders. So this is where, as a new motorcyclist, it's important to understand that not everybody out there is better than you. Everybody's on their own journey, and some people practice a lot of bad habits and some people practice good habits. As a newbie at anything, you're going to look at someone else doing the same thing as you, and you're going to immediately think that they know more than you do. So in a group ride setting, it's easy to get complacent and just think that everyone knows better than you. And this can lead you to things like mob rides, or rides where people are going too fast, or you're going to come across inexperience, just straight up inexperience, where maybe you know how to make a right turn from a stop, but the person that is riding, who's been riding for a while, maybe they don't know that. So the fix to this would be ride your own ride, no matter who you're riding with. If it's experienced riders, hopefully they have the awareness to understand that they can scale down to your level and then ride in a way that's comfortable for you. But if you get a really experienced rider, someone who's very skilled at riding, maybe they're not compassionate enough to do that. Maybe they don't know to do that. And that to me is inexperience. If you get someone who's really skilled at riding and they leave you behind because they'd rather have fun, then that's not somebody that I'd want to ride with. And that's something that I recommend you don't ride with. On the flip side, you're gonna get people who are worse at riding than you and could probably learn something from you. But riding your own ride and putting yourself in positions where if you go outside of your comfort zone, or if you push the envelope of your comfort zone, you do that in a controlled environment, or as controlled as you can. And if you find yourself riding and a stranger comes up to you and wants to ride with you or shares a lane with you, it's important to treat the other riders out there as just other motorists, and you want to keep your space cushion, keep your bubble of safety around you, and don't assume that other motorcyclists out there are automatically more skilled and better than you, where everybody's on their own journey. And if you don't know them, you don't trust them, or maybe you do know them and you still don't trust them, ride your own ride. And the third one is going to be flying debris, as opposed to things like surface debris, where you can get sticks and tree branches and pretty much anything else that can be on the road that wasn't there the day before. Potholes, for example, not necessarily debris, but they can spawn overnight. But flying debris. So this would be things like if you're on a highway and you're traveling behind a vehicle and you go across some rocks, they can kick up all of that stuff that they're running over, all the rocks and all the debris and all of the leaves and the twigs. They can kick all that up at you. And my best anecdote for this was when it was my first year of riding. I was riding with a buddy of mine. I wasn't staggered with him, but I was directly in front of him. But we were talking on our cardos, and I remember his visor was up because he was complaining that I kept throwing sticks at him. I would run over little sticks that were in the road, little wooden sticks, but they would kick off of my tire and fly directly into his face shield. But since his shield was open, they were hitting him in the glasses. And again, new riders, instead of closing his visor or becoming staggered, he just kept riding there and kept eating sticks that I was throwing at him. But this is where keeping good space cushion and being aware of what's being kicked up from the other drivers in front of you. And then another way that flying debris can get you would be like wind, of course. You can get like mattresses thrown out of the back of trucks. 5 or 6 years ago, it was kind of an achievement unlocked if you could catch a plastic bag, like a shopping bag, out of the air, because they're always flying around and people litter. And it's all fun in games if you can catch them, and that's cool. You can like stuff them away, throw them away later. But if you're not paying attention and a plastic bag, wraps around your face, that's kind of scary, because all of a sudden you can see and then you can't see anymore. Birds can be flying debris. Birds have sharp beaks, so it's important to wear a full face helmet at all times. But even if you can mitigate the beak and the sharp aspects of that, it's still getting sucker punched in the face if you get hit by a bird. But those are all things to be aware of flying debris. And depending on where you live, you've probably already experienced flying debris. So car doors, number 1, inexperienced riders, number 2, and then flying debris, number 3. Those are my current top 3 overlooked hazards. I'll probably do another video in the future whenever those top 3 change and I notice more uncommon things that happen to me that I can share with you guys. But until then, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I hope you all ride safe and ride smart, and I'll see you in the next video.